Good evening, I'm Jose Cardenas. Supporters of immigration reform plan to march in Phoenix and in other cities across the country. We'll talk to organizers of the march here in the Valley. Also an exhibit exploring the history of the United States Naval Base in Guantanamo, and learn where you can watch on stage the story of a basketball team from Miami, Arizona that beat the odds on and off the court. All this coming up next on Horizonte.
Funding for Horizonte is made possible by contributions by the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station.
Thank you for joining us. Immigration advocates vow to grab the attention of lawmakers in Congress to pass a comprehensive immigration reform bill by planning big rallies and demonstrations starting this weekend in cities across the country, followed by a march in Washington on October 8th. Here with me to talk about the marches planned in the Valley are Petra Falcon, Executive Director for Promise Arizona, and Raquel Terán, Arizona State Director for Mi Familia Vota. Thank you both for joining us on Horizonte. Let's just recap very briefly what your organization is all about, Petra, and what it does, and then we'll do the same for you, Raquel.
Promise Arizona was born out of the fight against SB 1070 in April of 2010, and it grew out of the work of a lot of young people and immigrant families that decided SB 1070 was not going to close the doors to them to live a good quality of life, especially in Arizona. And we focus on leadership development, we focus on civic engagement, we will focus on making sure that their voices are heard. And Promise Arizona also works to make sure that we no longer have bad bills like SB 1070, but at this moment it is about advancing comprehensive immigration reform. And at the local level, we work with a lot of organizations, especially right now on this event for October 5th.
Raquel, your organization, Mi Familia Vota, I know you've worked with them in different capacities for many years. What's their role in this activity?
Well, Mi Familia Vota has been working for more than 10 years and engaging Latinos in the decision-making process, ensuring that our voices are heard at the polls. We're a national organization. We are in Arizona, Colorado, California, Nevada, Florida, and Texas, and our mission has been to make sure that Latinos are heard. And just like Promise Arizona, we are working really closely on ensuring that we pass an immigration reform bill with a pathway to citizenship. That was one of the main reasons why Mi Familia Vota was born, because we knew that there were bad pieces of legislation that were attacking our communities, not only in Arizona, but all across the country.
Now, you mentioned yours is a national organization. This event is being organized across the country by a national organization. Tell us about that and what's planned.
Yeah, it's a partnership of many organizations. There's mobilizations that are planned in more than 40 states. We have 161 events that are happening. There's rallies, there's marches, there's vigils, and the purpose of these events is to make sure that Congress hears our voice, that we need to pass comprehensive immigration reform. Today, Democrats introduced a piece of legislation very similar to what the Senate passed in July, and we're very hopeful that this starts a conversation. We know that there are more than 20 Republicans who are also supporting comprehensive immigration reform with a pathway to citizenship. Actually, there's 26 Republicans. So we have the votes to pass a bill. We have 218 votes. So right now, our mobilizations are urging the Republican leadership to give us a vote so that we have our families come out of the shadows.
And I want to come back and talk about how likely that is to happen this year. But before we do that, Petra, let's talk about the march. It's this Saturday. Give us the details.
The details is that this Saturday, October 5th, we are inviting the community to join us on a march for dignity and respect. That it's a national day of action. We believe that there will be 2,000 to 3,000 people. They are to join us before 10 o'clock. We want to start at 10 o'clock at Immaculate Heart of Mary, that is located at 909 West Washington. It's 9th Street in Washington. We're asking people to wear red. We want everybody to wear a red T-shirt with any design, with any logo, but just a red T-shirt to demonstrate unity across the state.
And I understand there's going to be some special things going along there will be happening alongside the marchers. Tell us about that.
We want to highlight the pillars of what we think is a good comprehensive immigration reform bill, and that's to protect workers, that's to protect families, that's to reunite families, that's to make sure that our young people get into higher education, and more importantly, that there is a pathway to citizenship. So these stories, what I'm calling them vignettes, will be along the way, along the route, all the way to the federal courthouse at 4th Avenue in Washington.
And if people want to get involved, where can they go to get more information?
The number to call is 602-345-0166.
Okay. So, Raquel, you were talking about people having conversation. They're not talking about anything right now in Congress. They won't even talk about the budget shutdown, the crisis right there. So what makes you think that this is going to have any impact whatsoever?
Well, the fact that we had an extraordinary summer. We have a very sophisticated campaign where we're able to engage our members of Congress, where we are having one-on-ones, where we're meeting with them. And like I said, there's already 26 Republicans that during summer came out in support of a pathway to citizenship.
So you think there will be some action and that people will be able to, even though they can't talk about the budget and the deficit, they'll be able to talk about immigration reform?
We knew that immigration reform was going to be a priority issue. We knew that October was going to be a month. We're hopeful. We're still hopeful for our families, for our communities, that October and November are key months where they take out this legislation. And honestly, with what we have today, with the Democrats introducing this piece of legislation, it's the vehicle that we needed. So that's why these mobilizations, these rallies, these events that are happening across the country are so important, so that they remember, so that the Republican leadership hears that we need that vote. The votes are there.
Petra, any concern about backlash? In the articles about the march that's coming up, you have people like Rusty Childers saying, great, because you're just going to make the people who are opposed to immigration reform angry, and it's going to help his cause, which is anti-immigration.
Well, we heard that at the beginning of the summer, that there would be backlash in the streets, that there would be a lot of counter-protests. We haven't seen anything this summer. In fact, it's been very, very quiet on the right. The second thing is that the majority of Americans, the majority of Arizonans support comprehensive immigration reform with a pathway to citizenship. So Americans are already saying, let's have a solution. And again, the vehicle that was introduced today in the House by House Democrats is an opportunity to move forward. We already know that this bill represents a lot of what the senators already passed, and that was a bipartisan bill.
So you're hopeful?
Yes, very hopeful.
So we'll see what happens. Thank you both for joining us on
Thank you
Horizonte to talk about this very important subject.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's the main value of Horizonte, is that it tackles issues that are particularly interest to the Hispanic community. And Arizona is a hotbed of issues with the population of the state, almost a third Latino, the school population, K through 12, elementary school population, almost 50%. It's vital to bring these issues up. I think it's got a niche audience that isn't filled. Mainstream media in general doesn't focus a lot on these issues, and there's a point of view that's missing in a lot of those mainstream news outlets, and Horizonte fills that void.
To find out more information about what's on Horizonte, go to azpbs.org and click on the Horizonte tab at the top of the screen. There you can access many features to become a more informed Horizonte viewer. Watch interviews by clicking on the video button or by scrolling down to the bottom of the page for the most recent segments. Learn about more specific topics like arts and culture and immigration. You can also find out what's on Horizonte for the upcoming week. If you would like an RSS feed, a podcast, or you want to buy a video, that's all on our website too. Other features include our collection of website links and a special page for educators. While you're there, show your support for Horizonte with just one click. Discover all that's on Horizonte. Visit azpbs.org. Horizonte today.
Burton Barr Central Library in Phoenix will be hosting the Guantanamo Public Memory Project. Project is a collaboration with Arizona State University's Public History program in the School of Historical, Philosophical, and Religious Studies. The exhibit explores the history of the United States Naval Base at Guantanamo. Here with me tonight is Nancy Dallett, Assistant Director of the Public History program for the ASU School of Historical, philosophical, and religious studies. Nancy, thanks for joining us on
Thank you for
Horizonte.
having me.
This is a fascinating project. Just describe the logistics of it, because it really is unique.
Yes, it's quite complicated. We have an exhibit that will be at the Burton Barr Library on the second floor, and that sort of serves as the backdrop for a variety of different programs that we're going to have, probably 10 in all. And it ranges from panel discussions to an art installation to something we call the Human Library, series of 4 films. So there are many different ways for people to engage in
So
the
let's
project.
talk first about the exhibit. What will people actually see?
The exhibit is comprised of 13 panels that were created by public history
And we may
programs.
have a picture of one or of that setting that we'll show if we get a chance.
Okay. And so 13 public history programs across the country participated in developing a panel each. And they basically ask a question about the long history of Guantanamo.
And each panel captures a certain segment in time
Yes.
of the base. So, for
Yes.
example, it starts with the development of the base
The
after
Spanish-American
Spanish-American
War
War.
starts there and then continues on with the very unusual leasing arrangement that we have that holds now. Takes us through World War I, the development during World War II, and especially the Cuban balseros who were detained at Guantanamo, followed by the Haitian refugees that were there, and finally the enemy combatants that are there now.
So there's a lot of history to cover in the program. You've got these different exhibits. You're covering some very critical times in American history. What's the overarching theme that you're trying to capture?
Well, we're really trying to get people to understand the long American history there. Many people don't quite understand that we have this unusual relationship with Cuba. We have very interesting and complicated relationships with Cuba itself, Cuban-American relations. But this 45 square miles is our first foreign naval base. And over time, Guantanamo has been used. It's been opened and closed and opened and closed. And when we talk now about closing Guantanamo, it's really about closing the use of Guantanamo that it's most currently housing the enemy combatants.
So there are a lot of unusual things in the exhibit itself, but one of the most interesting things, at least I thought when I read the description, was this Human Book Project. Tell us about that.
The Human Book Project is something that is flourishing throughout Europe, but it's kind of new to this country. It comes from Denmark, and the idea is for people to sort of bring out your prejudice and bring out your ignorance and your curiosity, really, and have a face-to-face 15-minute conversation with someone that you would never have an opportunity to meet and get to know.
So give me some examples of that.
So some examples for the folks that are going to be participating would be someone who served as a chaplain there during the time of the Cuban and Haitian refugee crisis there. People who were teachers there, maybe someone who grew up there. We also want to get across the idea that this was home for many people. They grew up there. There was nothing really exceptional about the military base there. Maybe they served there. Maybe they were a balsero. And a variety of different ways that you can get at the story of this really diverse history.
And the way it will work, you go to the library and you basically check out a human book for what, 15 minutes?
You check out a book. In some ways, the books will compete like their book covers do. And you'll tell your little story with just in words, in written words, and then we'll select. The people who come to visit will check out the book. They'll have a 15-minute conversation. They can do it 2 people, 2-on-1, however they'd like to do it. We also have a gentleman coming from San Francisco, Peter Honigsberg, and he's been interviewing people who have been involved with Guantanamo since 9/11. And he's compiled an amazing array of interviews. So you can talk with him about what he's learned. You can also listen to the interviews that he's collected.
So let's talk a little bit about logistics in the time we have left. What's the time period for the exhibition, and give us a sense for the different aspects of it,
Okay.
and when they occur.
The exhibit will open on October 19th, and it will run through November 24th. Each Wednesday evening during that period, there will be a panel at the Phoenix Library. We're talking about a range of things there, again, from the Spanish-American War through the Cuban Bolseros and the Haitian refugees to the War on Terror. We're also looking at what's really relevant about this to Arizona. And so some of our evenings will focus on Japanese internment and also, I'm getting a cramp here, indefinite detention of
When we
immigrants
talked
at
off
the moment.
screen, you mentioned that that's something you want to convey. What does it mean to have indefinite detention?
Well, that's the very question that we want to explore. In what way has it become acceptable that, for instance, with Executive Order 9066 during World War II, the President made it illegal for us to detain Japanese citizens in internment camps. We now do it with the enemy combatants that are there. And here in Arizona, we do it in immigration detention centers, for instance, in Florence.
Well, it sounds like a fascinating show. People want to go, they can go online to get more information?
Yes, phoenixpubliclibrary.org.
Very good. Thanks for coming on Horizonte to tell us about this.
Thank you.
Get the inside scoop on what's happening at Arizona PBS. Become an 8 Insider. You'll receive weekly updates on the most anticipated upcoming programs and events. Get the 8 Insider delivered to your email inbox. Visit azpbs.org to sign up today.
And do you see a departure of Hispanics from the church? And if so, what is being done to bring them back?
Sadly, I see a departure not only of Hispanics but others as well from the church. I think that's partly due to a culture that has less connectedness with the Jewish Christian tradition that we have. We also have a number of Hispanics moving into this region, and when people move into a region, it takes time for them to get connected with the parish and to become involved in the church.
Our passion relates to having community and providing for the community as far as employment is concerned. We were, offered to move out to Tolleson. We were offered to move into Tempe. But because the labor pool that we had, we felt very dedicated to them and loyal to them because they had been with us for years and years and years.
After years in the same location, La Canasta keeps growing. The family also owns several restaurants nearby. This tortilla manufacturer sells products to more than 60% of Valley restaurants, and now their products are sold in surrounding states, with plans to market their products to the Midwest.
Because I do serious essays too. I write for the LA Times once a month, and I do just a serious column, put in a little bit of humor and whatnot. So I also value that position. But with a column like this, a column, come on, Ask a Mexican, where I say I'm the Mexican, you have to be a little bit outrageous. You have to be a little bit nutty. So that's why I do slip in the curse words. That's why I do sometimes embody some of these stereotypes. But what I hope to see, what I hope is that people see that it's all a gimmick, it's all an act, at least the persona of the Mexican.
The undefeated Mighty Vandals of Miami, Arizona, won the 1951 state basketball championship. It's the story of a victory by a team that beat the odds on and off the basketball court. Their story will be told on stage this week for people to see. Here with me is James E. Garcia, New Carpa Theater Company founder and playwright of the Mighty Vandals. Also here is the only surviving member of the starting five for the Mighty Vandals basketball team of 1951, Vito Trujillo. It's an honor to have you both on the show.
Thank you
Mr.
so much.
Trujillo,
Thank
especially you. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, James, let's talk first about the play and how it came to be, and then, Mr. Trujillo, we're going to talk to you about your story.
Well, the play came about because I had a friend who's from Miami, or as they say it there, Miami, who had invited me because he said there was a story about my town you should write. We didn't know what it would be, but eventually stumbled upon the story of the Mighty Vandals, 1951 undefeated Mighty Vandals. I was attracted to the story because it's a terrific sports story. They literally were perhaps one of the best high school basketball teams.
And this was before they were all the schools were all divided up into different divisions. They played Phoenix Carver.
They played Phoenix Carver
for the championship.
Which was a major school, of course, at the time. So I was attracted by this great sports story, but I was also attracted by the fact that here were these young kids, mostly Mexican-American kids, who were superstars on the court, but living a segregated life, when they went back to their neighborhoods, because it was 51, and it was rural Arizona. And I liked the contrast of that and what that sort of said about the community.
And I want to talk to you about how you convey that contrast. But before we do that, Mr. Trujillo, we talked in the introduction about the fighting the odds, beating the odds on and off the court. And James just referred to the fact that you came from a pretty poor background and in what was basically a segregated town.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, I was born and raised there, born in 1932. My mom and my dad came from Mexico. They came into this country in 1924, and he went to work for the mines. And at that time, the only thing a Hispanic job he can get in the mines was labor, and that's what he worked as, a laborer. And I had 4 sisters and 3 brothers, and all of them went into the service.
And the elementary schools you went to, though, were segregated?
Yes. I went to an elementary school that was separated.
And the high school wasn't, I assume, because it was the only high school in town?
Right, that was the only high school too. So when we got out of the elementary school, which is the 8th grade, went into the high school, we were integrated together.
Now, as I understand it from some discussions we had earlier, basketball wasn't necessarily your first passion, and you had to struggle a little bit before you made the team.
Yes, when I was in high school, I was very small. I was only about maybe 5'6", 5'7", and I bet you I'm at a weight maybe 100 pounds soaking wet.
Quite a jumper, I understand.
Yes, I had a lot of spring in me. But I played JV ball for 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year, and I was lucky if I played maybe 15 seconds, maybe 40 seconds in some games, and that's about all that I really played. And one of the things that really got me was when we first started playing as a freshman. The coach, he kept 25 players on the team, and I was in the 5th team. And he had sent the first team to get the uniforms, then the 2nd team, then the 3rd team, then the 4th team. Well, I was on the 5th team. By the time I got to the 5th team, all that was left were maybe the trunks that were maybe 40 inches wide, and
so you had to cinch them up.
I had to cinch them up.
But you made the starting 5, and let me ask you quickly, the championship game against Phoenix Carver High School, what was that like?
Oh, that was a very exciting game. It was nip and tuck from the beginning to the end.
And I assume everybody predicted Phoenix Carver would win.
Yes, they were favored.
I'm sure.
They were favored, but.
Sure. Well, I want to come back and talk to you about what life has been like for you since then. But James, before I do that, a central figure in your story, in the play, and this whole success of the team was the coach. Tell us about him.
Yeah, Coach Ernie Cavisto, who sort of showed up somewhat magically in 1947. He had come from Michigan, had been a high school coach there, but he had also played for Marquette and for Notre Dame and had quite a career in college. But somehow magically showed up in 1947 in Miami, Arizona, and decided to coach this team and coached it for 4 years, promising his wife that when they won the state championship, he would go home, and that's what he did. 4 years later, they went undefeated, won the state championship, and he left.
And we've got a picture of the team on the screen. That's you in the middle, as I understand it, Mr. Trujillo.
Yes.
Kneeling. So the other thing that the coach did for you was he made sure you guys got into college. You and several of your teammates went and played for NAU for 4 years, I understand.
Yes.
And then after that, you ended up with the life of public service, including serving on the Board of Supervisors?
When I first actually, I had 1 semester to finish school when I got my orders to be drafted into the service. But then I put in for a deferment, they gave me the deferment, and in May, when I graduated, I got my orders in August to serve in the service for 2 years.
And then you went into politics.
And then I came out of the service and went into, well, I served 8 years as a city councilman for the town of Miami. And then I served 20 years as a county supervisor for Gila County.
It's a great story. James, we're almost out of time. We've got about 30 seconds left. What are you trying to show with this play?
First of all, I think we're trying to show that there's great history in Arizona. This is not the first story that I've done that's about Arizona, but this is a great one. There are other stories to tell, and it involves our Latino communities very often. But this is also a story about perseverance on the court, perseverance off the court, because these were kids who struggled. You know, the 5 starters ended up going to college. Most of them were Mexican Americans or Croatians or Serbians, and they managed to go to college at a time when kids like them didn't go to college. So it's a great lesson for young people to watch as well.
Well, it is a terrific story. Thank you both so much for joining us. Mr. Trujillo, it's an honor to have you here to talk about this wonderful story.
Thank you.
And thank you.
And that is our show for tonight. From all of us here at Horizonte, I'm Jose Cardenas. Have a good evening.
Funding for Horizonte is made possible by contributions by the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station.